MCO or also locked down because all the public activities will be locked down started on March 2020. If anybody remember, from this situation, actually we need to do something. Is it in our education sector, which is almost all the sectoral activities around the world has been affected, include in the education sector. So from this begins, if maybe all the members remembered that maybe I'm is the panic situation on that time. Maybe what we have to do. The first question in our mind, and maybe in my situation at that time, the first question was what I need to do, because all the higher institution and our campus are forced to suspend face-to-face classes. Is it? Do you remember? How about the Indonesia? Can I get some view or some response from Indonesian audience? Hello. Okay. Okay. That's this situation is begin when the challenges is started. Okay. So from that, due to COVID pandemic disease, actually at UTHM, as specifically, UTHM started implementation of distance learning as early on April 2020 through the circular of the UTHM. With the circular, we're starting to do some of the manage how we want to overcome the problem. Okay, so from that, our campus, our UTHM has decided to do as a distance learning, which is covering various ways such as uploading or sending by post. Actually, we at the time we just to want to run the teaching and learning process without the further, and at the same time we need to do something. Is it in our challenges by doing the distance learning at the time, because we are in the shock situation, so we try to come up with the some of the solution. But for our management in UTHM, we decided to do distance learning with which is in two mode. First is the synchronized mode, which is in the synchronized mode, it can be implemented on the online, which is the instructor or the learner need to online at the time. But we also have the second mode in asynchronized, which is we can progress the learning without internet access or offline. And also we not only focus on that online method, on the distance learning, we also can through conventional method such as a courier, telephone, and anything we can, if we can think that method can use to communicate with the student is also fine. So from that implementation, therefore we have to manage all the student, all the staff, and also of the content, which is the content means like what we need to do for the delivery method or immaterial in what you want to delivery to the student. So for the time we implement the digital learning, we have to make sure that the three activities will be fine, or will be make sure that three activities, research activities, teaching and learning, and also the assessment. Okay, so for this topic, for today, for this topic, we just focus to the assessment process. Okay, for the second trigger, what the problem actually we face when we do the digital learning, three process, or what we need to make sure that quality assessment should be controlled, because in our digital learning, we can't do the face-to-face classes, and we can't do the things at on the practical activities. So we have to make sure the quality assessment to be achieved. What is the quality? Quality should be, you need to make sure that degree of the study, and we need to measure to minimize error, bias in design, conduct, and analysis. In the process of the quality assessment, we need three process. You need to make sure that the validity, reliability, and accessibility should be done smoothly. So from these activities, um, because assessment, what actually we need to assess, and what actually assessment objective. Assessment is the ongoing process of gathering, analysis, and reflecting on evidence of student learning. That's, you need to make sure that all the process can go smoothly without any, maybe we have the challenge and problem with to get the quality of assessment, but we try to solve all the problem on the progress of the teaching and learning process. So the first thing, the issue here is how as an instructor, or how as an institution, to make sure the quality of assessment can to be smoothly arranged on pandemic situation. So sorry, we still in the topic the quality. So in a part of the UTHM, or focusly on FPTV, we do some research, or maybe a short research, only to get the information what the challenges between the assessment process or teaching and learning process during the pandemic. The first thing, the challenges from the staff, we get it that there are students cannot be connected and do not have internet access. That's the terrible, because in maybe I was maybe in this seminar, we also have the face the same situation or same problem, which is when the student cannot access, so we cannot communicate with the student. That's the big problem. And second thing, student takes a long time to find a suitable location and good internet access, because they need to search the good location, a good line to communicate. And third one, a challenge in providing teaching material digital. and less stable internet access. I like to share with providing teaching material digitals. This problem also I'm faced on my classes, because that time we are familiar with the face-to-face classes. When suddenly we need to do some the technologies, we need to do some the prepare the material. This problem is so big. I think this is so difficult to me. Maybe also to our friend, because we need at the same time we need to know, we need to explore, we need to study which is the good platform we need to use. And these challenges providing teaching materials need actually need contribution at the or need the help from the institution, and also the support LMS, and also you need the time to do the to provide the teaching digital materials. And the fourth one is practical session. Is this is the practical session when we focus at FPTV, we need to also fulfill skill the skill certificate for the student. For the fulfill the certificate for the skill, student need to do hands-on classes. This also the big challenge to the student and also to the instructor. And for that time, for the first semester, between April to September, I remember that we need to hold all that the face-to-face classes, because we cannot to do hands-on activities. So that affect the student learning process, and also affect the duration of the student study. And also we have the constraint with the research activity, when student need to collect the data in the process of to finish their thesis. Okay, next, in the teaching practical learning, practical teaching, when we implement on the education program, the student need to go to school and do the teaching training. In that time, we need to communicate with the student or institution and school, within that the institution or school can receive or can take our student to do the teaching practical at the institution. That's the challenges for that time. And also um, we have some others challenges with the um, learning platform, and also the time constraint. That's the process in our university. As a top management, we need to do something. So, but we don't a part of quality assessment also, we need to assess. So for the validity in our quality assessment, to make sure the validity for the next phase, from February 2021, we started to employ to try to get do the formative and summative assessment in the format with the formal format, which is from the management side. We need to organize, we need to manage how we need to organize all the instructor, all the learners, and the content with the our teaching and learning process will be done smoothly. So for in our case, solution in for the valid process, we need to some process we have done with the face-to-face mode, and we just need to make sure that process when we do the formative assessment, the sum of the maybe head of the panel or head of department to make sure that process of the formative assessment need to be done by the instructor, maybe can using the performance assessment, or we need to do or some of the uh, lakonan. If you do uh, as the practical activities, you need to do the create a live practical session. That's the challenge. Okay, and to make sure the validity, the process of the assessment ongoing, we can try to make sure that what uh, what are the instructor deliver is reflect to the CLO learning course learning outcomes. We need to make sure. And accessibility, in accessibility is also the main issue in our qualities assessment, which is in when we are go to the challenges for the summative assessment. For the summative assessment, as you know, as we can do as end of the semester or end of the chapter. And in our situation, we try to manage a summative assessment. We do some instruction, which is the instruction need to be complied or need to be followed by all the learners and also by the instructor. This is the example which is from the summative assessment process. We need to give um, for the first step, the information for the student, for the learners should be centralized. In our institution, CGS, and CGS stand for graduate center graduate studies, and also academic center will organize, we centralize all the process for do the summative assessment. This also can cover the uh, accessibility, because in accessibility, supposedly all the student should be can access the questions during the exam, and also we as an instructor to need to make sure that all the process can minimize the cheating, minimize the bias, and all things can be we facing on the online exam. But um, in our situation, we have two choice actually in the summative assessment. We can do on the synchronized assessment and asynchronous assessment. Within assessment duration, you need to give student answer and on a short term of the times. within, for example, I have the courses of 2 credits. So I give the student the exam for maximum 2 hours, but we need to plus half an hour in the early and in the end of the assessment process. So this all the accessibility include communication, include our questions need to be managed and need to be centralized with some, because from that process we can control the quality of assessment. What about the reliability? The reliability in our process quality assessment should be the reliability in our process. The big challenges on the cheating, how that you can you can confirm that our student not cheat or not discuss. Okay, so from this reliability, maybe our management or our instructor use the hot item. When we construct the item for the final exam, we try to construct the hot item which is student can get the answer from the textbooks or anywhere, but student needs to think to answer the questions. That's maybe can reduce the process of cheating. Okay, that's what I want to share about the situation when the challenges is coming, and the same time we control the quality of assessment. Okay, for the solution, or maybe I have a short time for the solution. On the management side of on the administration side, we have to finalize some of the solution to cater the issues. So the first, we try to initial recording of teaching we made on teaching and learning, which is on a shot of initial recording. You also need the technology, and also you need the skill, how you want how you need to develop the digital material. Maybe this slot I think is can be interesting when we can share with the Dr. Nurhanim Saada. Okay, later. Then we can also create the other solution. We can also create live practical session via Google Meet and recording, and lecturers use a medium that allows students to have easy access to asynchronous, which is student we not force a student to online at the all time. Maybe we can prepare earlier, and the class or the assessment can use with the asynchronous method. The third one is using the e-platform. In our universities at UTHM, we use Author. Author is one platform which is developed, coordinated by the Global Online Learning Center, which is all the student and all the lecturer or instructor can use as an alternative way to ensure that teaching and learning process will be continuous progress, even though we are in the distant learning mode. In this autumn system, maybe I just share the what actually we have used and can do for the author. because the author, if the learning, teaching and learning and assessment, all the process, all the activities we can handle in author, and all the evidence we can keep it in the author's platform. And for the pandemic semester, we can see that our university, actually our university have offered more than 100 courses, but in our faculty FPTV, more than 150 courses at that time. But at the time also, we can see from the data, most of the faculty use this platform, because the platform is so easily and so compatible to use by student and lecturer to stimulate or to get the process smoothly process teaching and learning. This is the only the data for what I want to show, that in that time our enrollment user and the author is highest and up to the up I mean up we use the majority on author. Okay. Next, this is also the analysis, which is the user in use the author, which is in author we can also do the assessment, and time from time our global center always give the information and always upgrade the system to meet the requirement of the teaching and learning and assessment process. Okay, for conclusion, in our pandemic, in or what we need to do, or what we can do to support to make sure that assessment process can be done with the quality, with the three process: quality, reliability, and accessibility. So the institution support is most important in this process. The first thing is instructor professional development. We need to upgrade from time to time. Student training, maybe we can do some training how to use the platform, and technical and multimedia support. That's the most important, I think, which our condition in our situation, this the main issues or this the main element that we need to cover to support teaching, learning, and assessment process. And also the instructor need to changing the role. Maybe I refer to I also. Before this, I'm very not very good in multimedia. So for this time, I need to change. I need to try to to study to get the information about all the platform, or all the anything can improve our teaching and learning process. Then transition to online. Then we need to prepare. Okay, not only for instructor, also for the institution. The preparation we need to improve time to time. And communication barrier, student, faculty, and versus faculty lead courses, instructor interest, instructor preparation, time management, and teaching style. And for the content, we focus on the development, the material in the digital material, and also the consideration of the assessment need to be shift, maybe from the summative assessment to formative assessment, or assessment for learning, or some method of we can we can assess the student, but at the end of the courses, we also can find out, can make sure that student can learn and can achieve the CLO of the courses. And also for the learners, their expectation, their readiness, their learning style, and their isolation. This is important when we talk about the learner. Sometimes we not in the learner side, and in our case, not just minority. Some of the students, some of the time, they do not catch up the teaching with the online method, and also the psychology effect, because we don't know in the learner situation, which is maybe they have the problem on costing on internet line, maybe the environment of the student. Okay, so that's why three parties or three materials, or one human, two human, and material need to be prepared, and support from the institution is also need to be continuously support. Okay, that's all. Thank you. I come back to the moderator, Dr. Yusma.
Well, all right. Thank you very much, Dr. Marina. Yes, I can feel how challenging it is, Dr. Marina, because we have to deal with something that we are not very familiar with. It's kind of an alien to us, actually. So
Yep.
very difficult, actually, yeah, because we have to prepare mentally, physically, and everything we have to prepare. Well, now, thank you to both speakers, Dr. Endang and Dr. Marina. We will go ahead and take some time for questions now. So if you have any question, you can write down the chat box, or I will really appreciate if you can ask directly to the speakers. Okay, is there any questions? Please introduce.
Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Salam.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And I have a question for Dr. Parina just now, right? Okay, not really a question, but apa tu? Just to share or to have your apa tu feedback on the methods that you said just now, because I'm very interested with the two ways of the learning types that you mentioned just now, which is synchronous and asynchronous learning, right?
Yep.
And then what you said just now, the students um, can really get the learning process when they have the the immediate feedback, like when using Google Meet, Zoom, Teams, and Webex. This has actually happened to us as well when we are teaching our students at our particular institution. But like asynchronous learning just now, it doesn't happen at the same time, right? And then the participants can learn at their own pace. So, like for example, when the students were not available at the real time of the learning process, they can still go back, right? That is what Dr. said just now. Okay, so my question is that from your view, maybe at UTHM that you have practiced, which one is more practical, and which one do you prefer the most, and why? Okay, that's it. That was a very good sharing, Doctor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Puan Maisura. This is question to Dr. Marina. Some feedback on the methods being used, especially on this synchronized and asynchronized method. Well, okay, Dr. Marina, please respond to the question.
Thanks for who's Mazura? Is it Mazura?
Maisura.
Maizura. Okay. Thanks
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the.
Mysura. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for
From
the.
where, Puan Maisura, if you don't mind to let us know from where?
I'm from Polytechnic Besut, Terengganu.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
Malaysia.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. The good questions. Actually, when the two method where we have implement just now, synchronized and asynchronized method, which is when we talk about the suitable when the suitable, which is when we need to do asynchronized and asynchronized. Actually, back to our situation, if in UTHM, that's why we can't force that the instructor to use either. You need we not force the instructor, you need do the synchronized. No, we have we give the chances, we give the authority to the instructor to pick which method that we can propose for the objective. We need to make sure that all teaching, learning, and assessment process will be done smoothly. That's why in our condition, we try to instruct all the instructor, all the lecturer, try the best. If you have the another method, some of the lecturer not use the author, some the lecturer use the author. So that the situation, we have a instructor, sometimes we need to the creative method. Maybe we need to do something at the end, the important things at the end of the courses of the at the end of the slot of our teaching and learning process, we can't get to achieve the objective of the learning. That's the most important. That's why for your question, uh, I like to say that depends to the situation. That's why in our practice, we implement to the both of the method, and perhaps the instructor can use both or can pick and each other. Okay, is it okay for the answer?
Okay. Thank you. So it will go back to the objective of the lesson, right?
Yes, that's the most
Okay.
important. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, okay, thank you to Dr. Marina and Puan Maisura from Polytechnic Besut, Terengganu. And we do have some question posed in the chat box, so let me read one of those. Well, actually, it's quite challenge a question from me. It's from Professor Madya Dr. Razali Hassan, I believe this one. Okay, maybe Dr. Endang as well, you can give a feedback. The question is, in context of our nature during doing assessment in TVET, do you have any idea how we could implement students' assessment in 3 different situations during this COVID-19? First, classroom-based. Second, industry community-based. And third, outside class based on job process. Okay, so how the assessment could be done in the 3 different scenarios, in the classroom, in the community-based, and the outside classroom-based. Okay, I invite any of the speaker to respond to this question.
Maybe I can respond a little bit, but not in depth on the particular questions. But in our context in TVET of assessment, actually, that we have know that we stimulate on the competency-based assessment. Actually, on the classroom, because on a competency-based assessment, did student will perform on cognitive, psychomotor, and affective domain, which is the three of the domain. We need to make sure that students have to perform. But in our during the COVID-19, Actually, we can see that in our cases, all the face-to-face or all the practical classroom, we have to stop immediately after the announcement of the MCO have been announced. So in our suggestion, we need to do or develop some of material digital, which is the method of the tunjuk cara, or when the method we have to do something and show to the student is the process we can do for the earlier stage of before we started the classes. But in our condition, in our situation, for that for the meantime, we don't have maybe the instrument or apparatus to help or to create the environment that we can do the best thing, how that we can do the digital material. Or maybe Dr. Nurhanim Sabdah will share that how we can do the simulation of the teaching and learning, or the in terms of on the assessment part, maybe student need to melakonkan or do dengan record juga aktiviti tersebut. So maybe in my view, that's the only the best way we can do to achieve the objective with the competency based assessment in the TVET context. That's all. Maybe other panelists and Dr. Yusma. I back to Dr. Yusma.
Well, all right. Thank you very much, Dr. Marina. So there is a few methods being suggested just now by Dr. Marina on how to conduct the three different situations. Okay, I have another question. So maybe this one can be answered
maybe
by...
I reply and question, Miss.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. In this Indonesia for entrepreneurship education assessment, and during this COVID-19 pandemic, is theory is daring and learning my university, and student is practice and first product and video for output entrepreneurship is YouTube, and my student magang and industry is hybrid luring and daring, and community for support social entrepreneurship is luring and daring, and my student go to incubator business and community social support. And now my student go to implementation business for media social, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And now this is activity during the COVID-19 pandemic in entrepreneurship education. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Indah. So sounds kind, maybe we can use the social media as well, yeah, to promote the learning. Yes. All right. I guess this is our final questions because we already almost 11 now, and we have another 4 speakers to deliver the content. I guess this is our final questions from Siti Kusnawati. Is that here, Siti Kusnawati? So the question is, does distance learning will influence how the teaching methods in the future? and change the way assessments nowadays? So that is the question. Is that digital learning will influence how the teaching methods we use and change the way we assess the students? Okay, maybe Dr. Enda, maybe would like to respond to these questions. Siti Kusnawati, if you don't mind, let me us know where you are from,
Okay.
which institution.
The teaching method and future and change the way assessment is.
Yes.
The future is during pandemic COVID-19 is hybrid learning is luring and daring, maybe for student in Surabaya and student in another city is daring, and my student for assessment for learning in campus, and my assignment is practice and at home, and for video and now implementation for media social. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. So Siti Kusnawati is student from Wijaya Kusuma University. Thank you for the question and thank you for the answer. I hope that the speakers already provide a sufficient answer to the question. And well, great. I think we have end the first session, and thank you very much to both speakers, Dr. Endang and Dr. Marina, for the very interesting sharing. Okay, thank you very much for the both speakers, and we hope that all the participants have gained some experience, gained some information on how to handle the assessments during this pandemic situation. Okay, let's move on to the second session. Well, this session will be share another experience from Dr. Nunu Haryati and Dr. Nur Hadim Saadah Abdullah. Dr. Nunu will talk on HOTS, Based Students Assessment Challenge in Higher Education during COVID-19, and Dr. Hanim will share on using video as an alternative in online assessment. Well, let me start with Dr. Nunu. Hi, Dr. Nunu.
Yes, hello, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Okay, a brief biography of Dr. Nunu. She get her degree and master from Universitas Negeri Malang and her PhD in the same university in education management. And she has involved in many research and community service focusing on education and management at school level and higher education level. Now, currently, the research is pembangunan model manajemen usaha kesihatan sekolah dalam upaya pembinaan perilaku hidup bersih dan sihat. She is a lecturer at Universitas Negeri Surabaya, and she also published many articles that related to her field of expert, as well as participating in many national and international conferences to share her works. So without delay any longer, let's welcome Dr. Nunu to present your sharing.
Thank you, Ibu Yusmarwati, as a moderator. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to be able to speak here today. And Alhamdulillah, today we are given help to attend the international webinar, which was held in collaboration between UTHM, UNESA, Wijaya Kusuma University, and Fakulti Pendidikan Teknikal and Vocational UTHM. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the Honorable Dean of Fakulti Pendidikan Teknikal dan Vocational UTHM, Associate Professor Dr. Abdul Razak bin Abdul Razak, and to the moderator, Ibu Dr. Yusmarwati bin Yusuf. Thank you, and the entire of invited speakers today. and all of the webinar participants. Thank you so much. This time I have given an opportunity to share and expose the webinar material entitled is Hot-Space Student Assessment Challenges in Higher Education During COVID-19 Pandemic. Okay, I'd like to begin with talk about the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic in educational sectors. We know that coronavirus disease is the biggest disruptor in the world in this century, and it's appears 98% of university and 300 lecturers undertake digital transformation and adapted the technology. And many responses here from the lecturers placed as a threat or a challenges. And it depends on the readiness of lecturers and students, absolutely. And in Indonesia, the learning problem during the COVID-19 pandemic is, we can see from the student, the availability of internet quota package, the obstacles of internet access. This situation at home is not conducive to support the learning process. And from the lecturer, low mastery of lecturers' technologies, and the lack of lecturer creativity in teaching, and the limitation of digital learning device, hardware and software. And the problems else is learning tools and facilities. There is a limitation of application facilities and learning tools. And the impact of virtual learning during COVID-19 appears Zoom fatigue. There is a Zoom fatigue. Okay? It is a fatigue that makes every student on higher education feel tired when study with the virtual learning, and lower DNA of peak performance. We can see that every single student has no motivation to accomplish their homeworks. And in psychological perspective, there is a cognitive shock from direct learning to virtual learning. And 90% of students prefer to offline learning. This is in Indonesia especially. And as the topic I told at the beginning, why should a hot space assessment? Let's see. I connect to the 21st century learning. I think hot space assessment is relevant to answer not only answer in during COVID-19 pandemic, but also answer the challenge of 21st century learning. And we can see here learning and innovation, namely for CS. There are critical thinking and problem solving, creativity and innovations, communication, collaborations, and from digital literacy. There are information literacy and media literacy and ICT literacy, and so with a career and life. This is based on development for hot space assessment. So I think it's very relevant to connect it with challenge in during COVID learning practice in during COVID-19 pandemic and 20th century learning challenge. And we know that learning method can change in during COVID pandemic, but assessment principles of the function and principle must not change. What is allowed to change is the way we have to hold assessment principle. First is sustainable, objective, and then a comprehensive, have a criteria, integrated, transparent, accountable, and equitable. And let's talk about what is HOTS. Thomas and Litowitz say that HOTS is a logical reasoning, information processing, decision making, problem solving, how to think, analyzing, classifying, comparing, formulating hypotheses, making inferences, drawing conclusions, criticizing, and interpreting, translating abstract concept into tangible, visual, auditory, or kinesthetic expressions, making and supporting discriminatory judgment, and drawing facts in inferences from context. And HOTS is ultimate goal that achieved through learning approach and process and method. HOTS or higher order thinking skill that includes a level of thinking, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. And let's move on to the taxonomy Bloom, HOTS to LOTS. Yeah, LOTS, it's mean low order thinking, lower order thinking skill. Yeah. Okay. As you can see at slide, Bloom divide the three thinking levels: lower order thinking, middle order thinking levels, higher order thinking levels. And higher order thinking levels includes create. This is activity that mention the definition, imitate the pronunciation state, the structures, pronounce, repeat state. And evaluate consists activity giving recommendations, defending, starting, choosing, giving support, giving assessment, and doing evaluations. And analyze, there are consists activity examining, comparing, constructing, distinguish, doing discrimination, separating, test, doing experiment, and asking. And let's see the characteristic of hot skills learning. There are using information to solve the problems, processing and applying the information, using a logical analysis, determining the conclusions, defining the concept, analyzing or assessing the argument and data, and focusing on questions. Okay, this is a hot-based assessment stage. The first lecturers have to identify the competencies to be achieved, basic competencies and operational verbs. And the second lecturer have to formulate learning objectives and competencies indicators, competencies, a cognitive one up to C6, yeah. And content, it consists of factual, conceptual, and then a procedural, metacognitive, according to the respective fields of knowledge. And then the third, identify real-life phenomena as the context of learning and productions. And the last, develop learning tools. It's not stop at the fourth stage, I mean, but it's circular back to the first step, that is identify two competencies based on the result of assessment process conducted people. Ladies and gentlemen, how assessment phase, hot space conducted in higher education. I try to describe it with 5 points. The first is the assessment process focus developing critical, logical, analytical thinking skills, synthesis, evaluation, and problem solving, not just memorizing or remembering. And the second, the assessment process focuses on developing critical, logical, analytical thinking skills, synthesis, evaluation, and problem solving, not just memorizing. It's redundant, I'm sorry. And the third, the activities can be carried out through discussion activity, field activities, practicum, completing practicum reports, and students are allowed to try it on their own. And the assessment can improve students' positive attitudes and behavior, which include learning motivations, honesty, independence, self-confidence, discipline, and responsibility. Not only to transform knowledge, but how to change attitude to be a good. And the assessment provides feedback that can correct mistakes or clarify mistakes. Corrective feedback. Okay, this is assessment hot space which can be applied during pandemic with the distant learning or virtual learning. We can use a performance assessment, project, and portfolio or design. And I divide challenges in the implementation of hot space assessment for students in higher education with 3 challenges. The first is from college institution perspective, and the second is challenges from lecturer perspective, and the third is challenges from higher student perspective. Let's see one by one. And from the college institution perspective, I divide 3 aspects. The first is regulation. Regulation is important to guidance to the activity of learning in the college. And the second, readiness of resources, especially human resources. Readiness, a lecturer is very important. And the third is the academic culture that can change the mindset of entire academic community in college. And from the lecturer perspective, I got the data. 10% lecturer in Asia Pacific are too lazy to make hot assessment questions. And new with in the 2020 said that they prefer to give assessment question to students with questions from years ago that have actually been used many times. But this is not entirely the case. Only lecturer with the predicate unfocused worker carry out the assessment like this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now I want to describe what a lecturer must have to answer the challenges. There are two things important. The first is competencies of lecturers, and the second is rules of lecturer in conducted or deliver assessment, hot space assessment. In the competencies, the lecturer must be competent in planning and designing hot space learning. And then it related with the second competencies. The lecturer must be able to develop divergent assessment. There are multi-response and litmus scoring. And when we talk about the rules of lecturer, there are cognitive rules, which is instructor, then lecturer as instructor, demonstrator, theorizer, and master artist, learning, critic, agitator, motivator, and mentor. And social roles, lecturer as coordinator, facilitator, partner, connector or communicator, moderator, convener, salesperson, collaborator, participant, and collector. In managerial roles, lecturer has to be a leader or change agent here. It's very important. Administrative, manager, curator, coach, guide, goal setter, and evaluator. And the last, technologist roles, alchemist, server, network administrator, technician, technologist, media, publisher, editor. And from the student perspective, I divide with anxiety is a challenge. Student must be able to manage challenge into opportunity to try new things. And student must be skilled to build self-regulated learning. And student must be able to create their own learning environment that can increase interest in learning. It's namely personal learning environment. And it all comes down to learning commitment and learning needs of students. Okay. Now let's see the last in my slide. Yeah. The last in my slides. This is finally going to offer a systematic view of how state's assessment in responding to student assessment challenge during COVID-19 pandemic. I think it has a similarity with Ibu Dr. Mirna. Yeah. The many key factors to conduct the learning process effectively has the similarity with the Ibu Dr. Marina. The first is student readiness, and then the availability of resources, and then the college policies. I think is the same as institution support. And here, lecturers are the key factors to building an academic culture. So we can use hot is an approach as well as the ultimate goal of learning. And consequently, higher education can produce productive, creative, innovative, competitive, and well-being human resources in the 21st century, not only during COVID-19 pandemic. I think that's all. Thank you very much for your attention, and I will be happy if anyone has any questions. I return the time to the moderator. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Nono. So there's a challenge for both lecturers and students, I believe, and it's really hot actually, because we're almost at come to the noon session. But for those who like to ask, you can start chat right in the chat box. But we will continue with the next speaker, Dr. Nur Hanim Saadah. Hi, Dr. Nur Hanim. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Can you hear
Dr.
me?
Hanim is one of our lecturers in FBTV UTHM. Her field of expertise are 21st century teaching and learning, educational technology and multimedia, 21st century life and career skills and innovation in teaching and learning for TVET and engineering education. She has given multiple training on learning management system in UTHM, multimedia production, training on several well-known software such as Office 365 and Google products to departments, school, and university. exposed to IoT technology and applied to several students' projects, including data gathering from electrical products and devices. And she has been nominated as Excellent Trainer during the Academia Day 2020 at UTHM. She became one of the panelists in Challenges and Practical Strategies for Online Teaching in TVET hosted by Malaysia Research Institute for Vocational Education and Training, MyRevet. And she is passionate in technology and being a trainer. She likes to share information with people, especially in technology that can help TVET teachers to improve in terms of teaching and learning and many other innovation tools in TVET. So Dr. Hanim will share today on the using video as an alternative in online assessment. So please welcome Dr. Nur Hanim.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Just want to check, can you hear my voice?
Boleh, boleh.
Boleh, okay. Thank you very much everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dapat lihat saya punya slide?
Boleh.
Yes, okay. Selamat datang. Thank you very much for the moderator and also the lecturers from Indonesian and also from Malaysia and everybody. Okay, this is my slide. Okay, welcome. Okay, using videos and alternative in online assessment. So before we start, I would like, okay, welcome to my session. So before we start, I would like to share, okay, I want to share who am I? Okay, I just want to share a little bit about me. Okay. So this is a little bit of my portfolio, teaching portfolio. So a little bit about me and my innovation, my lecture videos, activities with students that we want to share today, and also my online training, and let's us collaborate. So I want to show you a little bit about it. Okay, so this is my CV and some of the training that I've conducted, okay, about pedagogy and online teaching, especially in pandemic COVID-19. Okay, and then these are some of the videos that I've created for my students. Okay, some of the videos, and then some of the activities that I conducted for my students, the communication, okay, with the students. Okay, students work in Padlet. If you can see here, some of my students final activity they posted in the Padlet. Okay, I'm teaching electrical machine and also drawing. So, and this is some of the video-based assessment that I want the student to express themselves what they understand about a topic. Okay, using Flipgrid. Okay, these are my students, and they submit their videos using YouTube, and I'm using SharePoint for them to create a real-time video, real-time document. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. Okay, so okay, what we want to share today is, for my session is, I just want to share the experience in assessing students' work during pandemic COVID-19. The first, the second, and now we are still going on. We don't know where pandemic COVID-19 will stop, so we just have to bear about this pandemic, okay? And then to share the basic concept of using video as alternative assessment, okay? So, before that, these are some of the applications that I've been using to conduct my teaching. So this is Microsoft Teams. This is OneNote. This is Otter, the learning management system for UTHM. So this is YouTube. Okay, you already know about this one. So this is Flipgrid, and this one is Edpuzzle. So this I would like to share with all of us today. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, what we have gone through. Okay, actually our lesson for today is same as before, but some changes are needed to proceed forward. because we need to do face-to-face and also online learning like this. So what we need is actually a paradigm shift, because this is pandemic COVID-19, then we have to have ICT or multimedia or sort of the skills that we have in the teacher and also the students. Okay. Okay. So what is actually paradigm shift that I am saying is actually the paradigm shift is a major changes in the concept of practices of how something works or is accomplished. Okay, am my voice clear? Okay, am my
Yes.
voice clear? All right.
Yes.
Okay, a paradigm shift very often happen when new technologies introduced and radically alters the production or process of a good or service. And actually, in our case, is our education because of technology and because of the natural disaster or something like that. Okay, so okay, why we need to shift our paradigm? This is because we are in pandemic 19 that we don't know when we'll stop. Okay, when they will stop. Okay, so with this limitation, we have to change. Okay, we have to change ourselves.
Dr.
So,
Hanim, sorry, some participants says they cannot hear very well. You need
no,
to louder.
okay, I think I need to change my mic. Can you wait for a while? Okay. Okay, can you hear my voice now?
Very well.
Okay, so my microphone is not so well. Okay, so where were we just now? Okay, so why paradigm shift? Okay, because now we are in the pandemic COVID-19, then we need to change our way how we teach, because we need to do it online. Okay, like we are using that our webinars right now. Okay, actually this is a chance to always meet other people from the other country. We no need to travel, right? Okay, so what is it with the education? Okay, this process actually become a norm. Okay, become a norm, and what we have to do is we have to be creative and dynamic. Okay, we have to be creative and dynamic because of COVID-19. Okay, and then now I would like to share why we use videos in teaching and learning. Okay, these are some of the lists that I'm showing you here. We can find the videos. This is a video platform, Vimeo. Not only YouTube, we also can find videos from Vimeo and other platform. Okay, Khan Academy, that. Okay, so we can use all these videos into our Add Puzzle or Flipgrid. Okay, I'm using these two because this is quite a well-known platform to do the video-based activities. Okay, there are some more others. Okay, so okay, this is a basic concept in using video. First, we produce our own video. Like me, myself, I produce my own video so much. Okay, I'm using just my computer and also my handset. I don't have this DSLR. Okay, just a basic one, just like in the picture there. Okay, then we can also use available videos related to our lesson. Okay, we can use from YouTube, from Vimeo, from the things that I've said just now. Okay, and then the third one is we have to assess what students have already watched. Okay, assess students' understanding. So this is a basic concept. Okay, how to do that? Okay, so I would like to show you a little bit before and during. Okay, before pandemic COVID-19, most of us meet our students to teach. Okay, using the method of explain, demonstrate, simulate, and guide. Right? Okay, but we can still touch them. And then we assess them. Okay, now what happened? Okay, during pandemic COVID-19, most of us meet our students online. What we have to do? We teach them. Okay, we explain, demonstrate, simulate, and guide, and then we assess. So, same, right? It's just the same, right? Okay, what's so different about it? Okay, let's see. So, but there are some difference. Okay, then let's see together. Okay, using videos to teach. Remember the keywords just now? The keywords are explaining, demonstrating, guide, and simulate. We can use videos to do that. Okay. What video cannot do is touch human. That's all. Okay. Okay. We can do all those in our video because we are the one who want to teach our student what they want to get from our video. So like for me, I teach them how to draw. Okay. In the classroom, I have to make them to come with me. But in the pandemic COVID-19, they cannot come closer to me. So I produce a video, they can watch it again and again. Okay, again and again individually. Okay, individually. So, and this is also how I guide them to draw. Okay, this is I tell them about, I am explaining them about the theory. And this is some of the examples on the site, but I cannot go to the site, so I just use chroma key at the back. And then this is video explanation in deep. I'm using my pen, okay? And also, this is also video explanation. So the student, okay, what we want them to do is let our student watch relevant educational videos that help in reinforce the lesson for the day. And actually, this is not a secret, help students stay interested and engaged. Okay, this is just the same, but we cannot touch them. But what video can do is repetition. Okay, actually, students appreciate repetition very much. Okay, and then okay, these are some of good resources if you want to share with your students, and you can find some videos from Vimeo, TED Talk, okay, from YouTube, from lindan.com, Han Academy, 3 Minutes Thesis, and like National Geographic. That is a very good video. Okay. Next is actually this is my setup. Okay, for my online class, and like now I'm staying here. Okay, so some of my setup. Okay. Okay, now I'm asking you several questions, 3 major questions. Okay, implementation of videos in assessment. Okay, use the videos to assess students' understanding. Okay, first question I want to ask you, what we want them to understand? Okay, so what we want them to understand is the focus of the video. Okay, if you want to make a video, you want to make sure they understand, please be focused. Okay, so question number 2, how do we know they have understood? Okay, so by doing assessment. Okay, what kind of assessment? And then question number 3, how to do the assessment? For me, I'll do the alternative assessment. Okay, then all right, now we come to the videos, using videos to assess. Okay, first step, student watch the video. This is the first step. We prepare the video and the student watch the video. Second step, this is important. Give some time for student to understand the video. Not after after they watch the video for 5 or 10 minutes, then you already give you the question. No. So we have to let them understand. So this comes the repetition part. If we talk like this, there is no repetition. Even like we talk in the webinar, they always ask for the recording. Do you have the recording? So that means that we want to do the repetition, right? Okay. But in face-to-face, you cannot do the repetition so many times. Okay. And the third one, give question or task based on the video they have watched. Okay. This is important. We need to assess what they understand. Okay. And then the how do we prepare video-based assessment? Okay, first we have to choose suitable platform. For me, I've been using Edpuzzle and Flipgrid. Okay, I will show you some example after this. Okay, secondly, give very clear instruction to the task. Okay, very clear instructions. So because they are far away from us, if they are in front of us, it's easy. Okay, listen to me, listen to me. But because of they are far away from us, they need to have clear instruction. Okay, and then now third, we have to evaluate and give constructive feedback after each task. Okay, we need to mark their work, we need to respond, we need to tell what they have to improve. Okay, so Okay, let us see some examples here. So I have prepared 3 examples that I've been doing. Okay, first one is using Flipgrid. This is a video-based quiz. Okay, that means I give questions, student have to make video to answer the question. Okay, then I'm using Edpuzzle. This is a built-in quiz video. So you have a video, you watch a video at a certain time, the video will stop and student will answer before they can move on. Okay, so before that, I will give you the whole video first, and then I will ask them to watch the video in Edpuzzle. And then explanation video. I give a task for student for them to read and understand something and explain it in the YouTube. Okay, so I'll show you the example right now. Okay, so this is my OneNote. These are the example 1. Okay, using Flipgrid. Okay, using Flipgrid. Okay, so I have prepared the question and also I have prepared the rubric for them to answer. I show you here my Flipgrid. Wait, where is it? Okay, so this is my Flipgrid. Okay, this is Flipgrid platform. Okay, for example, I have several topics here that I want to tell. Okay, so this is the quiz. Okay, quiz based. I've given them a video for them to watch. Okay, they have to watch this video, and then I've given them the instruction. Okay, this is the instruction. So based on the video, please explain the Fleming right hand rule in 3 minutes. Why 3 minutes? I'll tell you after this. Okay, only 3 minutes. So I give you the instruction, a quite long instruction, so that they will understand what to do. And Alhamdulillah, students said that they understand the instruction and they can do the video by themselves. So you need to explain using a video, press the record button to record. Okay, time given is 3 minutes. You can practice several times before submitting the answer. So this is special one. Practicing several times before you submit the answer. Okay, use your own hand to explain the concept. This is about Fleming right hand rule. Okay, your explanation should consist of, for me, I write here your name and metric number. So I give an example. Assalamualaikum, nama saya Hanim, nombor metrik, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then where to use the concept. So for example, I give them a bit of the dialogue. Hukum tangan Fleming digunakan pada dan bukan pada. That means they need to understand something before they can use this word. Okay, and then explain the rule by showing your hand. You have to use your hand to explain the rule. Okay, so I show this one. This is the example of instruction. And then what they answer. So these are my students down here. These are the videos. Okay, these are the videos. So I have already prepared the rubric here. This rubric I prepared in Microsoft Teams. Okay, easier for me to click only. Okay, so these are some of my students' videos. Okay, this my first video. So this is the rubric. So I can only click on this one. This is my Teams. This is Flipgrid. Okay, so look how they try to answer the question. Okay, how to answer the question. They are using some tools. They have to draw. They explain. Okay, they are trying to explain from what they understand about the Fleming right hand rule. Okay, like this one, I've already click on it. Okay. Okay, this one is drawing on the paper, and this one drawing a mini whiteboard. Okay, this is the best explanation actually. Okay, and this one, and this. And after that, out of my student, I can see that out of 50, actually 2 students that don't understand because they explain it like up and down. Okay, then I give them comments. This is the constructive feedback. I give them comments here in Microsoft Teams. Okay, So these are the comments that, okay, good try, but you have to do because you don't really understand. So please watch the video again and then improve. And then I return all the student work, okay, so that they understand their level. Okay, so that is the first example. Let us go to the second example. Okay, using the add puzzle. So this is the old logo, this is the new one. So this is the add puzzle video. Okay, add puzzle video, you can stop the video at any time to make the question. Okay, to make the question. I'll show you the add puzzle. Okay, so this is my add puzzle. This is my content. So you can see here that every stop here is the question. Okay, this is the question. So let me see at this question, what question that I've given. Okay, for example. Okay, so the video will stop and you have to answer. Okay, you have to put your answer. For example, so you have to submit, or you can rewatch, or you can skip. So submit. Okay, then you can continue. Okay, then you can continue to the second one. So what student get is they have to wait, my class, wait. Okay, so what they have answered, okay, these are some of the result of the student that being answered. Okay, so this is the question. Okay, some of the question. At time 0.9 second. So this is the question. So at time 1.3 1 minute 34 second. This is the question. So these are the questions that they need to answer when they watch the video. Okay, when they watch the video. But before that, I give them the full video first, and then after they already watch the full video, then I give them this activity. Okay, so this is the second example. Okay, so if we don't have our own video, don't worry, we can also use other related videos. Okay, in Add Puzzle, it's very easy to get other related videos. I'll show you how to get other related videos. So we can only go down here. Okay, so you can find some of the videos from Add Puzzle itself. Okay, from YouTube. Okay, from Khan Academy. Okay, National Geographic, TED Talk, so many useful videos, educational videos over here that we can find our topics. Okay, just write your topic here. Okay, then we can do the video, question in that kind of video. Okay, so that is the second one. Let's move on to the third example. All right, the third example is video explanation from student. Okay, so I've given them a task that they need to find a blueprint, then they have to read the blueprint. Okay, how they understand the theory and how they understand the practical, and then they need to read the blueprint. Okay, they need to find the blueprint and read it. So they put their link here of the explanation. So like this, I show you. Okay, so this is the grouping word. So they find the blueprint, and then they need to explain. Okay, in this room you have three fan. In this room you got one socket. So they need to understand, and they need to explain how they read the floor plan, how they read the schematic diagram, and also the wiring diagram. Okay, these are some of the example. And then this is the rubric. Okay, this is the rubric that when I watch the video, then I give them marks. Okay. Okay, this is one students my students work, and all of this work I've compiled it and put it in YouTube channel, my YouTube, in the playlist. Okay, this is the playlist of my students work. I'll show you the playlist here. Okay, so these are the playlists of my students' work. So easy for me to manage. Okay, easy for me to manage. Okay, they read the blueprint and then I can see and then I give marks. Okay. So that's all three example. Okay, three example of how I use the video-based assessment. Okay, and then okay, a little bit things to ponder. Okay, so why do we have to use video? Okay, why do we have to use video? Actually, students appreciate repetition. Okay, they appreciate repetition. So actually, student is not only studying one lesson, they are studying so many lessons. Okay, so if you make a video-based quiz or video-based explanation, for me, there is no plagiarism. Okay, uh, compared to text. Okay, so get to know your student better. Okay, actually, I get to know my student better when I watch their videos. Okay, enhance student communication skills. They need to practice and practice before they can submit. And then students' confidence level. Okay, and then I can see their commitment of learning. Okay, I can see their commitment of learning, and I can see their understanding when I ask them question. Then if I twist the question, they still can understand. And I like to train them to talk like in 3 minutes thesis. Okay, well, I would like to suggest to try it, and it's fun and engaging. Okay, so I think that is all from me. Okay, that is all from me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I come back to you, Dr. Yusma.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Nur Hanim Sabda. Well, just to let you know that Dr. Hanim Sabda is really a technology sifu, if I can say, and she is very, very good in many online learning application. Okay, the Gen Y, the Gen Z generation, I might say, very, very talented in online learning process. Well, thank you very much to Dr. Nur Hanim and also as to Dr. Nunu as well. So Dr. Nunu has shared about the hot-based students assessment, and Dr. Hanim sharing about on how to produce video and how to evaluate the video. So now we come to the question Q&A session. If anybody want to ask directly, you may do so now, but we already have few questions being asked in the chat box. So maybe I give chance to the people who going to ask directly. Kalau ada nak tanya direct dulu, mungkin saya alu-alukan sebelum kita baca daripada chat box. Ada yang nak bertanya? Adakah? Kalau tak ada, saya terus bacakan daripada chat box. Okay, soalan ini especially to Dr. Nunu, I believe. As a leader, how do we encourage lecturer to adapt and adopt assessment strategy according to pandemic issues? This is from Professor Madya Dr. Razali Hassan from UTHM actually. Alright, dipersilakan Dr. Nunu.
Thank you very much, Professor Hassan. Interesting questions. And in my view, there are three activities that should be conducted by a leader. First is build a climate and learning culture with clear regulations that apply to all lecturers. And the second, building a learning community between the lecturer to share many experiences each other. Maybe there are those who have the best practice in apply a model, assessment model or anything. And third, the most important is give an example of carrying out the assessment according to the procedure as it should be. In Bahasa Jawa, we can say ingarso sung tulodo. It means that the leader must be the first to set a good examples as role models for their lecturers. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nunu. So the lecturer should be the role model for the students. Yeah. All right. So the next questions from the same person. This is dedicated to Dr. Nur Hanim. Any copyright issue and who can claim a learning material once they upload to any video channel?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much for the question. Okay, actually, I am also curious about copyright. So I did some study about copyright. Okay, this is not only copyright, there is also copyleft. So you have to know about copyright and copyleft. So that's why I am more interested in developing my own video. Okay, because our own video come from our own material that we build ourselves, and then we want to explain this to our student. So that's why I really like to use my own video. And why? And in my video I have several platforms that I am using to take note about the copyright. That's why I'm using OneNote. If you can see that I'm using OneNote. In OneNote, if you want to find some videos and also want to find some pictures, okay, you can. Okay, you can, because the Microsoft is already given the some videos that already copyrighted. Okay, copyrighted, and this is safe, and then they share. That's why I always use OneNote, because if if I can demonstrate how I get the videos from OneNote, and also the lynda.com, and also everything, that is the copyrighted videos that I share to students using OneNote. I search it using OneNote, and then when I get the video, that video, I look at the video first. Is it the focus of my study for my lesson? And then if there is same like I want to teach, then I'll use the video. Also, like the things that you see in my presentation just now, all is I'm using this from the Bing or Edge, that it is copyrighted. So I mean that they are free to use. Okay, free to use. So I'm not only taking from any sources to create my digital things, because I want to make this as creative comment, my creative comment. So this is my own copyrighted. So that is how. Not only copyright, we can also learn about copyleft for education. Okay, thank you very much, I think.
Wow, there is copyright and copyleft. I just heard about that today. Thank you very much, Dr. Nurhanim. There is one more question here, and I guess we are almost 12 o'clock here, and I guess this will be our final question for these two speakers. The question is, how can you assess your students in affective domain? This is from Aris Setiawan, which I believe from rakan kita dari Indonesia. Setelah tengok presentation daripada Dr. Nurhanim tadi, they still have some query. How you assess the domain affective? Okay, silakan.
Okay, thank you very much, Aris Setiawan. Okay, this is also the question. Actually, I get lots of questions, especially in affective and also practical. Okay, for the psychomotor. Okay, I'll answer both. Okay, so the affective, this is why I use the video, because I can see their emotion inside there. If they are turning the answer up and down here and there, I think there is something wrong that the student don't understand. So I can say that maybe there is a problem of communication over there, or actually student don't understand my video. Okay, so from the expression of their faces, I can see that they don't understand. Okay, so I can see that the lesson that I want to teach them cannot reach to them. Okay, it's the minor student, so maybe because of the my language campur English and Malay, right, like that, and then they try to express it again in using what language that they want to express themselves. Okay, so some gap over there. If we think about it, if we just use okay, if we just use the pen and paper, okay, we cannot see the faces. Okay, we cannot see the faces. Even though if you see that I have 3 monitors here,
I like to see their gestures. I like to see their emotion. Okay, that's why one is face, one is document. This is my work, so I can see. My student also, if they do online classroom, they will on their camera, so that I can call them. Faham ke tak? Do you understand? Like that. So for the psychomotor part, this is most challenging. Okay, this is most challenging. I can only teach software based, okay, software based lesson using the online. But face-to-face like electrical machine, I cannot. They have to come. That's why we finish all the theory part and then they leave for the practical session. Okay.
Sorry, Bu MC moderator, can I ask to Bu Hanim?
Oh, okay, yes. One last question, yes.
Thank you. Yeah, you are very good teacher, Bu Hanim. That is, you use with the application, yeah, good well. But I want to know what is your S2, yeah, magister. You are from Informatica, those lectures, or IT Informatica, or the real what kind of subject? No. What are your teacher? You are Informatica, IT, or the from apa itu? The lecture.
Bidang-bidang pengajarannya ya.
Okay. I am electrical. I teach electrical engineering subject.
Oh, that's very good. And how many period time you apply, you mengeterapkan this application?
Okay. Saya memang suka ajar pelajar saya explore. Okay. Jadi saya suka ajar pelajar saya untuk explore. Bila saya minta pelajar untuk menggunakan sesuatu, saya akan ajarkan terlebih dahulu. Okay, supaya pelajar tahu nak guna. Sama juga dengan semua LMS, termasuklah Otter, UTHM, termasuk Teams, OneNote. Jadi saya prepare platform tu kepada pelajar dan ajar pelajar guna sebelum saya apply dalam kelas betul.
Bu Hanim, that's very good.
Okay, so saya rasa we have to stop kerana dah pukul 12 dan kita ada lagi 2 orang speakers untuk membentang. Jadi terima kasih banyak-banyak saya ucapkan kepada Dr. Nuno dan juga Dr. Nur Hanim yang sangat-sangat interesting bagi saya. Jadi video memang bagus untuk kita tengok daripada aspek belajar. Okey, baiklah kita akan terus kepada sesi terakhir kita bersama 2 orang lagi speaker. Izinkan saya bercakap bercampur-campur ya.
Yes.
Ya, ada apa Ibu Lucy?
No, you want to cakap-cakap campur-campur, it is right.
Yes, okay, thank you very much. All right, so this is the final session. So this will be delivered by Dr. Lucy Tunik Muharlislali with the topic Appraisal for Teaching English Language Skills. And the final speaker, Dr. Nufidawati Muhammad Hanafi, who are going to share on challenges and impacts in assessing students' performance during pandemic COVID-19. So we will start with Dr. Lucy. So a little introduction of Dr. Lucy. She started education at higher level, at degree level in 1979 from Universiti Surabaya and master in learning technologies from Universitas PGRI Adi Buana Surabaya and complete her PhD in 2021 at Universitas Negeri Surabaya in Education Management. She is one of lecturers from Universitas Negeri Surabaya and she has conducted many research with the project is model marketplace startup entrepreneur. Okay, he is also actively involved in conference and seminar and has presented many papers in many seminars at national and international level, and being appointed as a speakers in many program and event, and also have published her works in many form of publication, index and non-index publication. Well, let's delay no longer. Please welcome Dr. Lucy to share her experience. Dipersilakan.
Saya sudah nge-share ya itu.
Sudah, Bu.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Good. What is it? Now is still good morning. Okay, I want to present my assessment, but in here I'm a teacher English, so that's why I want to present about my experience, appraisal for teaching English language skills. That's why during the pandemic period, the assessment was to fully understand the situation of the student's condition in order to get the assessment process appropriately. Indeed, many technical barriers between other internet access or learning activities prevent the focus from approaching academic evaluation or cognitive assessment. So far, the use of media requires an appropriate assessment model analysis. Several online portfolio assessment like tadi Bu Hanim, it is very good, but in here I will give via email, chat, Facebook, at Mayday, and Prezi. The obstacles to implementing online include not all students who are present actively participate in video meeting. Maybe there is a network interference. 2, the concept of understanding and response is not optimal. Constraints faced by teachers during this pandemic cannot see the process of students working on assessment intensively, so that it is less than optimal to give score objectively, only limited to the complete of the task, not understanding and the expected learning achievement. Actually, we emphasize more on understanding the task at hand. Be impressed, just copy paste, like copy paste. And learning success achievement, first, Zoom is actually good. It's so quiet and an enthusiastic response. Yes, there is a feedback on question. Students are happy to be able to meet face to face, even though limited only from to video meeting. Teachers cannot monitor student activities during learning. Assessment is indirect, no response to material. Answer question, discuss, and enthusiast during learning. Oh my God. Now, in here, slide 2. The relationship is hierarchy and simultaneous. Activities are carried on sequentially and simultaneously, starting from developing, making assessment, instrument. In here, instrument, test, and non-test, and conducting assessment. Means that the relationship is hierarchy simultaneous between assessment, measurement, and evaluation. Ya, apa ini? Oh my God. Okay. What is assessment? Yeah. In here, process teaching learning according to Griffin and last is Hansen and Ella, but basically the process is ongoing and systematic. Now, I have told that assessment, we have informal and informal. The purpose of assessment, evaluation of SDM, sumber daya manusia, learning process, influencing the learning process continuously as well as monitoring the process, progress, and improvement on ongoing basis. Education, yeah, that's why when I asked to Bu Hanim, before long time before pandemic, actually I have teaching with online, yeah. Sometimes with blended learning, quizzes, hot potatoes, how can do measurement. That's why I interested with the material from Bu Hanim. Yeah. Assessment instrument, we have 3, jadi pre-assessment, ongoing and last. Yeah. Okay. And model assessment, they have 4, but in here I use assessment authentic with by same Zaim 2013. Authentic assessment in here is performance assessment, portfolio, and self-assessment. The form of assessment is in the form of complex and significant verbal or written student responses that describe previous knowledge, current learning, and realistic or authentic problem-solving skills. Yeah. Okay, the characteristic of performance assessment. Example, yeah. Example of a tactic assessment. Now, in listening, his assignment is in interpreting process, because I, according to my topic, assessment for teaching learning English skills. Yeah, the first listening. Listening, his assignment is an interpreting process, or his assignment is understanding. The first task listening, students are given question relation with the topic, and task 2, listening and sorting sentences. Yeah. Task 3, listening to the news. This is rubric penilaian listening. Task 1, correct answer, the score you can see from the PPT. And reading. Reading, and how I teach critical reading. Students are expected to know, understand, apply, be able to read, analyze paragraphs, and understand contextual types of text. Student given analyze text according to its generic structure, genre, component, article, journal. Means generic structure has the meaning as a pattern or a flow that is presented in a mapping of ideas or information in a text. Each text has also a different generic structure. So in here, a reflection rubric assessment for reading. Speaking. In speaking, I teach classroom conference, mean that aspect of communication such as delivery, organization, content, and language. Means first, create text and present it. B, compiling news based on image. You can browse to find supporting argument or supporting details, supporting topics. Means I have 2 in here. I teach classroom conference. Express meaning into official and informal functional text, and second, express meaning in monotext by using a variety of spoken language accurately and fluently in the context of everyday life. This is a rubric assessment speaking. So I have 6 in here: fluency, accuracy, clarity, intonation, volume, and content. So if the students present with excellent, means that very smooth with no pause, I give 5, score 5. If good, means that smooth, good, and blah, blah, blah. So you can look on my PPT. Writing. Writing, ability to write text based on topic, can explore to support the ideas you have. Ideas means contents, coherence, spelling, grammar, vocabulary. This is rubric assessment for writing. So in AI we score 3 like this. Oh sorry, it is 4 ya. Oh my god, sampai 4. Yeah. Okay. In here, assessment standard itu PBM, proses belajar mengajar, teaching learning process, present and activities in the class. So I teach with attitude 15%, assessment means that assessment structure 15% and independent 15% mid-tense. So in here, so what's I score attitude competency assessment in here? Okay. And knowledge competence assessment. Skill competency assessment. Learning process competency assessment. And here, the supporting factors, teachers are given the opportunity to improve the competence of service provider. Jadi, define into 3, training, guidebook, and accompaniment. Yes, we have not the infighting in high-pitching factors, yeah, authority, integrated assessment, time limited, complicated, and not practical. Okay, the difference between authentic and traditional assessment, we can look in here, the difference according to Fresh and Rudnitsky tahun 1995 dalam Serebina. Okay. Now, authentic assessment according to Hart, Marsona, Scrotinian, and Untitled Pantivati. So, authentic assessment changes the role of student in the assessment process from passive nature to an active participant. Students collaborate to participate and can support their progress. See, enabling learning in many ways with tests that are exclusive and narrow. Okay. Conclusion. Actually, sorry. Yeah. Actually, there is a application. So the name is Robistar. Robistar is a tool to help teacher who want to use, does not have the time. If you have doesn't have a time, and then you can only click. Itu ini. Coba. Maaf. I take an. Can you take on the, what is it? Oh my God, man. Ya apa ini ya? Sudah kelihatan itu ya, Bu?
Ya,
Bu.
sudah.
Ya.
Cuma
Okay.
besarkan sedikit, Bu. Terlalu
Kenapa?
kecil.
Sebentar, iya makanya. Udah kelihatan?
Yes, okay, good.
Ya. Nah, ini maaf ini Bu MC bisa di klik itu di Robistar for Teachers ini yang biru, bisa saya mau naruh di chatting jadi kita bisa langsung tahu. Langkah pertama, the first step, you should sign up, daftar isi form dan register. Jadi nanti keluar seperti ini. Jadi tinggal ngeklik, keluar log sign up, ya. Setelah itu, after that, ini sebetulnya enak sekali to help the teachers kalau yang nggak punya waktu, don't have, this is application, ya. Nah, ini after that, after click register, you write title, first initial, last name, zip code, create password, retype your password and email. Langsung klik register. Nanti bisa linknya bisa ditaruh di chatting ya Bu. Jadi the other we can apply and we can mempraktekkan. Nanti after that you klik tadi new rubric and then like seperti ini. Lalu and then klik new rubric. Nah, di dalam in here in new rubric we have many kinds of subject. Yeah. According to you, what do you want to teach? But in here, because I'm I teach scale, so I choose work scale. Work scale and collaborate work scale. Yeah, sorry, but the other, can you look what is the suitable with your topic teaching? Now, after I click collaborate work scale, don't forget, collaborative work skills mean what kind of teaching. In here, I write, I click, I write critical reading. And then, after that, klik lagi. Nah, in here, many categories. Here are some quick steps to help your create. Means, in here, categories. Categories diklik quality of work. Di sini, if you give a score 4, so that the student provide work of the highest quality. But if you don't the same mind, oh saya tidak suka ini, so you can edit, tinggal ngedit di sini. Jadi if you give a score 4, sebetulnya a real the student what is this super, ya. There is no what is it because it's critical reading, so the no is mean deeply understand about the passages. Yeah. What about 3? If you give the score 3 like this, and blah blah blah. Categories quality of work. Contribution, klik contribution, langsung klik, ini keluar. Keluar step-step why you give the score 4, itu kelihatan langsung. Problem solving. Once again, kategori ini, can you choose kira-kira what is the first? Not always quality of work. No, maybe you want give score attitude. Anda klik attitude aja, langsung keluar what kind of why you give a score 4 because the students never is published critical blah 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 blah. Once again, if you don't know or if you don't like about the the element of the score, you can edit. And also you can reset. Ini bagi ini kategori, dan dari sub-sub tadi we have A until G. But in here not, ini tidak harus number 1, number 2, number 3. No. According to the topic. I choose 1 is attitude, is okay. Oh, what is it? Quality of work is okay. It depends. Just klik. Biar mesin yang bekerja. After that, ya, setiap langsung muncul kalau sudah diklik semua tadi di submit, maka keluar modifier this rubric. Nah, di sini berarti teacher's name-nya saya tadi Lucy, student-nya name-nya siapa? Nah, ini Anda give a right the name. Setelah semua, after you give one by one, And then you can download, print your rubric, atau create offline browser document and download. So you have hard copy, the give rubric, the score from the students A, for instance, the name. Nah, di sini. I give the example in here, class debate speaking for. Nah, student name ini. Respect the other claim, dia nilainya berapa. Okay. Nah, ini bisa di print dan diberikan to give to your student. Thank you. I return to the MC, Bu Yusmarwati, Yusuf, and then the other can mempraktekkan tadi link tersebut. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Lucy. Wow, very detailed rubrics. So we can start to search on that link, Rubista for teachers. Yeah. So you use that method, yeah, Bu Lucy.
Yeah.
So we can use that rubric to assess our students. Very, very interesting. Well, thank you very much again to Dr. Lucy. And if anybody have question, you can write the question in the chat box. And now we're going to continue with the final speakers, Dr. Nur Fidawati binti Muhammad Hanafi. Let me briefly introduce Dr. Firda. So Dr. Fidawati is is a senior lecturer at the Faculty of Technical and Vocational Universiti Malaysia. She received her doctoral degree from Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris in educational measurement. She currently is a head of focus group in testing, evaluation, assessment, and measurement teams. Her expertise is in educational measurement and evaluation, instrument development, performance assessment in studio-based learning.
Sorry, Dr. Yusma. Mohon mohon Dr. Lucy apa?
Ya, maaf.
Semua orang baca kat sini.
Oh, okay. Sorry, saya tak perasan tu tengah baca biografi Dr. Frida. Alright. Okay, Bu Lucy. Thank you, Bu Lucy. Okay, saya sambung. So her expertise is in educational measurement and evaluation, instrument development, performance assessment in studio-based learning, validity and reliability in performance assessment, and she has extensive teaching experience in educational assessment and evaluation, educational pedagogy, micro-teaching, and AutoCAD. And she is actively sharing her knowledge on assessment and measurement at national and international level. So she is very, very expert in the assessment system. So without delay any longer, let's welcome Dr. Firda to share her talk on the challenge and impact in assessing students. Please welcome.
Sekejap nak apa ni? Share screen.
Okay. Boleh slideshow.
Okay.
Alright. Okay.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Terima kasih kepada moderator Dr. Yusmawati Yusof. Terima kasih kepada semua yang hadir pada hari ini yang memberikan sokongan kepada webinar yang dilaksanakan pada hari ini. Okay, I'm Dr. Dawati Muhammad Hanafi will present today about challenges and impact in assessing students' performance during pandemic COVID-19. Okay, actually it's like same with second presenter, Dr. Marina, but I will focus on assessment assessment itu sendiri. Okay, if you don't mind, I'm combine English and Malay. I think I good in Malay. Okay. Okay, as you know, pandemik COVID ini belum lagi berakhir ya. Kalau kita tengok sehingga ke hari ini peningkatan angka berterusan, semakin berterusan. Okay, as you can see here, dia bermula di hujung Disember, iaitu di Wuhan tahun 2019. Okay, kemudian end of January dia datang ke Malaysia melalui pelancong turis daripada China, and pada 18 Mac 2020 our government announced the MCO, and then as you know, bila MCO kita tak boleh keluar, so kita kena buat open and distance learning. So I think all over the world menggunakan open and distance learning. Okay, as you can see at my screen, saya cuba untuk memaparkan keadaan kita semasa pengajian di Institut Pengajian Tinggi. Telah hampir 3 semester kita mengadakan pengajaran secara online. Dan lately ni ada beberapa kursus yang perlu, maksudnya kursus yang contohnya amali, practical skill, dia kena datang ke universiti, itu sahaja yang kita benarkan untuk face to face. Tapi sehingga ke hari ini kita melaksanakan kursus ODL, open and distance learning. Okay, kalau kita tengok dekat sini, untuk first semester during COVID session, kita lack of preparation. We are lack of preparation. Kita tak tahu macam mana kita nak mengajar dekat dalam kelas. Kita no experience in conducting fully ODL, no procedure and guideline. We panic and stress. Sebab kalau face to face kita ada pen untuk menconteng, tapi kalau online kita tak ada, kita nak menulis pun kita tak ada pen untuk menulis secara online. Kita tak pandai lagi pada masa itulah. Okay, and then kita lack of skill and competency. Lack of skill and competency ni, lack of skill kita menggunakan ICT, kita menggunakan apps, software dan sebagainya yang berkait untuk pengajaran secara online. And kita yang paling penting adalah literacy assessment untuk online pembelajaran secara online. Okey, untuk semester kedua, iaitu kalau di sini semester ini adalah semester 1, sesi 2021. Okey, yang mana yang ini kita mula membuat modification practice based kepada previous practice. So kita buat modification, yang mana kita rasa tidak perlu kita akan buang, yang perlu kita akan maintain, ataupun perlu pengubahsuaian kita akan membuat pengubahsuaian. Okey, kita mula plan and organize, and then kita dapat banyak support daripada universiti dan juga kawan-kawan. Macam tadi kita ada support, kalau di fakulti saya kita ada support by contohnya yang banyak bagi sharing session adalah Dr. Nur Hanim Sadar yang tadi present. Okey, kemudian kita masih problem in literacy assessment, in online assessment. Kemudian kita dah mula pandai menggunakan tools, apps or software in moderate level. Okay, for third semester. Okay, for third semester kita dah kalau kat sini kita tengok sebab dah 3 semester kita menghadapi online session, jadi kemungkinan ada student yang motivation dia down because ada kat rumah, so tidak bersemuka dan perlukan support. Begitu juga dengan academician development, kita perlukan support daripada organisasi dan juga daripada rakan-rakan. Okay, ini adalah condition yang saya gambarkan daripada 3 semester. Okay, saya ingin mengetengahkan ini adalah assessment transition daripada traditional assessment kepada new assessment. Apa yang kita boleh nampak dekat sini, kalau kita tengok pada masa dulu kita banyak menggunakan paper and pencil. Okay, nowadays kita dah berubah, kita dah mula menggunakan, kita masih lagi ada paper and pencil. Kita bukannya melupakan terus paper and pencil, tetapi kita ada tetapi kita ada tambahan-tambahan lain seperti kita ada alternative assessment, kita ada performance assessment, kita ada authentic assessment, actually banyak lagi assessment, competency based assessment, apa lagi standard based assessment. So kita ada banyak jenis assessment, tetapi dia punya dia panggil teorinya adalah sama. Kita kena ada satu pegangan teori dalam assessment. Okay, kemudian ini keadaan pertama yang saya ingin gambarkan, yang mana kita ada transition berlaku dalam assessment. Yang kedua adalah kita menghadapi satu situasi yang kita kena buat open and distance learning. Okay, yang mana dalam open and distance learning, kita perlukan teaching and learning support like digital material, equipment, tools, apps and extra. And then kita perlu sound assessment that can driven the learning activity like Dr. Hanim done. We need to design sound assessment that can driven the learning activity that can engage a student actively in our class. Okay, so yang thirdly is immediately feedback according to student answer and activity. Okay, so setiap assessment yang kita buat, kalau kita bagi immediate feedback, itu yang terbaik kepada pelajar. Sebab kadang-kadang student ni kalau dia tak dapat feedback, dia tidak belajar sesuatu. Jadi kalau kita tengok yang dipraktiskan oleh Dr. Nur Hanim tadi tu, dia bagi feedback kepada pelajar immediately dan pelajar boleh belajar. Kalau saya boleh katakan tadi, Dr. Nur Hanim tu sebenarnya dia menggunakan classroom assessment. Classroom assessment which is lebih kepada formative assessment, tapi saya melihat dia ada gabungan kepada summative assessment which is ada penggradan berlaku di hujung aktiviti tersebut untuk tujuan summative assessment. Okay, and then fourth one is good in pedagogical approach. So kita kena ada satu menggunakan intonasi suara yang bagus. Kita mesti pandai membuat penerangan kepada pelajar, menerangkan menggunakan contoh-contoh yang relevan dan sesuai. Kena ada good in pedagogical approach. And then seterusnya, we have to using constructive learning theory. Okay, we have to use using constructive learning theory, which is okay, constructive learning theory ni kita nak pelajar tu dia boleh membina pengetahuan mereka daripada dalam konteks pembelajaran mereka. Dia boleh bina sendiri pembelajaran mereka tu melalui kita bagi tugasan-tugasan yang bermakna kepada mereka. Okey, seterusnya kita menggalakkan pelajar dengan peer and self-assessment frequently. Maksudnya kita banyak menggunakan student to actively in learning, and then kalau kita boleh engage student tu untuk dia nilai kawan-kawan dia, dia akan lebih belajar tentang sesuatu makna. Begitu juga kalau dia boleh menilai diri dia sendiri, dia akan jadi lebih mengenali apa yang dia fahami. Okay, yang seterusnya, actively engage student in learning and assessment process. And last adalah summative and formative assessment. So dalam open and distant learning implementation, dalam mana-mana assessment memang kita akan menggunakan, kalau tadi Ibu Lucy sebutkan ada 3 ya, memang betul ada pre-assessment, formative assessment, summative assessment. Pre-assessment tu bila kita nak mengetahui terlebih dahulu kita punya student punya performance, student punya ability. Kita nak tahu terlebih dahulu sebelum kita bagi pengajaran kepada mereka. Formative assessment adalah continuous assessment yang kita nak develop pengetahuan mereka. Summative assessment adalah untuk kita memberikan penggradan, yang mana kita susah nak bezakan sebab kadang-kadang dia berlaku dalam one single process. Okey, tapi kita kena tahu tujuan, the purpose of assessment yang kita buat tu. Contohnya formatif, untuk kita buat formatif untuk penambahbaikan. Kita kena tahu tujuan formative assessment adalah untuk penambahbaikan, memberi peluang kepada pelajar untuk membuat penambahbaikan di dalam pembelajaran. Of course lah kita akan giving the feedback to student to encourage their learning. Untuk summative, tujuan summative adalah untuk kita penggradan, untuk bagi dia sama ada lulus ke gagal, bagi A, B, or C. Penggradan ini maksudnya dia dah berlaku di hujung, di akhir, yang mana kita dah ada satu cumulative information mengenai student punya performance untuk kita buat keputusan tentang pelajar itu. Okey, ini types of assessment yang saya nyatakan sebentar tadi. Contoh formative assessment, we must give immediate feedback to improvement. To improvement. And then dalam formative assessment, dia lebih berhubung kait dengan criterion based reference. Criterion based reference, which is student tidak dibandingkan dengan student yang lain, tetapi student itu akan dibandingkan dengan certain reference or standard yang dia kena achieve. Okay. Kemudian seterusnya, formative assessment adalah low stake assessment because dia berlaku di dalam small class. Okay, and then dia boleh mewakili small unit. As you can see from Dr. Nurhanim tadi, dia cover small unit untuk dia tengok student achievement. Okay, dan dia berlaku secara continuously. Dan memang sangat penat bagi seorang lecturer untuk nak design formative assessment in a small unit. Tetapi kalau kita nak menghasilkan satu pengajaran yang bermakna, kita kena buatlah formative assessment tu. Okay, summative assessment ini berlaku untuk grading, berlaku di final dan dia muktamad. Dia adalah satu keputusan muktamad dan tidak boleh ada perubahan. Okay, dan disebabkan oleh dia muktamad, maka kita kena menjaga kualiti information yang kita collect daripada pelajar untuk kita buat keputusan. So kita kena jaga that quality. So because of that lah kenapa kita kena membina instrumen yang betul-betul boleh mengukur performance pelajar. Okay, tidak terlalu instrumen kita itu tidak mengukur performance yang terlalu mudah, tidak mengukur performance yang terlalu tinggi. Dia adalah boleh mengukur yang sepatutnya diukur. Maksudnya tidak terlalu mudah dan tidak terlalu sukar. So kita kena design that instrument to suit the student performance. Okay, and then kita menggunakan dalam summative assessment, dia berhubung kait dengan norm-based reference. Norm-based reference ini kita akan membuat perbandingan di antara pelajar dengan pelajar. Okey, dia banyak isu sekarang. Bila kita kata kita buat perbandingan pelajar dengan pelajar, sekarang orang akan cakap, okey, kita sekarang menggunakan outcome based education. So outcome based education based on criterion, based on criteria, based on KPI. Tapi untuk validity and reliability, dia still akan tengok kepada norm based reference untuk menjaga kualiti pentaksiran tu. Okay. Okay, main challenge in open distance learning, kita ada 4 challenge dia yang mana Dr. Marina dah terangkan tadi. Yang pertama adalah academic dishonesty, infrastructure, coverage of learning outcomes, commitment of student to submit assessment. Okay, this so yang saya ingin tekankan adalah pada bahagian academic dishonesty ni, yang mana bila kita menggunakan ODL, kita tidak boleh kontrol dari segi, kita cuba nak kontrol, tetapi contohnya penipuan dalam kalangan pelajar untuk membuat ujian. Contohnya, mungkin kita tak tahu adakah pelajar itu yang sit ujian tu, mungkin digantikan dengan orang lain untuk menjawab ujiannya, kan? Dan banyak jenis penipuan yang berlaku di dalam ujian secara online, tetapi ada beberapa kaedah lah untuk mengatasinya. Dan semua cabaran kepada kita sekarang, lecturer, adalah kita mesti mempunyai kemahiran untuk mengesan ketidakjujuran yang berlaku di dalam peperiksaan secara online. Okey. Okey, kemudian saya ingin terangkan berkaitan dengan alternative assessment, yang mana alternative assessment ini mengurangkan penipuan yang berlaku di dalam ujian secara online. Kita boleh menggunakan alternative assessment, tetapi alternative assessment ini dia memerlukan effort dan juga tenaga yang banyak, yang tinggi untuk menyediakan bahan-bahan dan juga dan juga untuk dimasukkan dalam apps yang bersesuaian untuk membolehkan kita melaksanakan ujian secara online ni. Okey, terdapat beberapa jenis alternative assessment. Kita ada quizzes, kita ada open book take home assessment. Okey, open book take home assessment ini biasanya kalau kita laksanakan, kita lebih banyak menggunakan higher order thinking punya soalan. Open book and take home assessment ni. Sebab dia boleh, pelajar boleh buka buku. So kita kena make sure yang kita punya soalan itu tidak terkandung di dalam mana-mana buku rujukan ataupun di mana-mana open source yang lain yang dia boleh tiru. Okey, kemudian yang ketiga adalah professional presentation or demonstration. Okey, pelajar buat presentation. Presentation yang profesional ni menggunakan platform yang terkini lah. Okey, yang ketiga annotated bibliography. Okey, yang keempat e-portfolio, video. Video ni seperti mana yang terangkan oleh Dr. tadi, presentation. PPT with voice, report, discussion, forum, interview and simulation. Kalau kita tengok alternative assessment ini, dia punya kekurangan adalah dia boleh, dia very subjective. Very subjective, dia mengundang banyak kesan rater effect. Rater effect ni maksudnya dari segi severity and leniency, dari segi restriction of range, dari segi central tendency, dari segi halo effect. So dia boleh, dia membuka ruang kepada banyak bias dalam pemberian markah kepada pelajar. Okey, jadi banyak dalam bidang assessment apa yang dihujahkan dalam alternative assessment melalui contoh-contoh ini, kecuali quizzes. Quizzes ni kalau berbentuk ABC yang very objektif tu dia very objektif lah. Yang very subjektif ini dia membuka ruang kepada bias dalam pemberian penilaian kepada pelajar. Okay, in designing alternative assessment, kita kena design alternatif tu based on authentic task. Supaya pelajar itu lebih dekat dengan okupasi yang dia lebih dekat dengan pekerjaan yang dia bidang yang dia ambil. So kita create based on authentic task. And then dia adalah jenis performance based assessment. So kita kena create assignment sheet task, yang mana yang ini sangat penting. Assignment sheet task ni dia sangat penting. Macam requirement yang kita nak pelajar tu buat tu macam mana. So dia kena jelas. Arahan tugasan yang dia kena buat tu. Macam mana delivery method, macam mana penilaian dilaksanakan, dan requirement lah dalam assignment sheet task ni. And then selari dengan assignment sheet task ni, dia kena provide rubric. Rubrics ni macam yang dikongsikan tadi oleh Dr. Lucy, sangat menarik berkaitan dengan Rubista, yang mana saya melihat Rubista itu merupakan satu platform yang dia menghubungkan educator untuk collaborate rubric dalam satu platform. Maknanya kalau orang tu dah buat, kita boleh tengok rubric dia, dia boleh dapatkan banyak jenis rubric lah bila kita collaborate kat dalam tu. Dan dia merupakan satu rubric ni, dia ada beberapa cara untuk menggunakan untuk develop rubric. Dia ada beberapa cara. Cara susah ada, cara senang ada. Cara sederhana tak ada. Cara susah tu kena develop sendiri. Develop sendiri ni hari tu kami ada buat satu kursus pembinaan rubrik, yang mana kami minta audiens untuk bina rubrik. Dekat 10 minit satu kriteria pun tak boleh nak develop, sebab susah nak mengeluarkan rubrik. So yang metod kedua, metod yang senang adalah adapt dan adopt. Macam yang digunakan tadi, kita menggunakan Rubista ataupun open source yang lain yang kita boleh gunakan. Tetapi make sure rubrik kita itu boleh mengukur learning outcome yang kita nak ukur. Okey, kemudian dalam pemilihan rubrik, contohnya kenapa kita menggunakan 4 rating scale. Rubrik dia ada beberapa ni, kenapa kita gunakan, dia ada beberapa rating scale. Ada 3, ada 4, ada 5, ada 6, ada 7. Tapi kebanyakan rubrik yang kita jumpa, kebanyakannya ada 4. Okay, sebab dia ada beberapa reason lah daripada pengkaji-pengkaji kenapa gunakan 4 rating scale untuk develop rubrik. Okay. Ada beberapa reason yang mana ada kajian yang dibuat, bila diguna 4, bila diguna 5, bila diguna 6, dia punya reliability tetap sama. Dia tak mempengaruhi. Jadi kalau satu lagi dia punya dapatan, kalau guna 4 skala rating itu, dia boleh mengurangkan central of tendency, kecenderungan educator ataupun assessor untuk memilih rubrik pertengahan, untuk memilih skala pertengahan itu, kecenderungan untuk memilih itu dapat dikurangkan. Disebabkan oleh kadang-kadang assessor mungkin tidak begitu memahami kriteria yang ditulis, jadi dia mengambil mengambil keputusan untuk memilih yang pertengahan. Pertengahan tu dikatakan adalah satu markah yang selamat untuk diberikan kepada pelajar. So dia play safe lah. Okey, so jadi untuk memastikan kita mengukur apa yang sepatutnya diukur, developing rubrik ini juga menjadi satu perkara yang sangat penting yang perlu dititik beratkan. Okey, and then method of assessment and evaluation. Method of assessment and evaluation ni kita ada banyak method of assessment and evaluation, and then kita ada method of delivery and administration, how to control the effect in assessing student performance, validity and reliability. Okey, benda ni semua daripada 1 sampai 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ni adalah berkait dengan validity and reliability. Kalau kita tak jaga daripada awal, start daripada developing assignment sheet task, developing rubric, control method of assessment, control method of delivery, kita akan mengancam validity and reliability. Kalau kita jaga, kita boleh menjaga validity and reliability assessment yang kita laksanakan. Okey. Seterusnya, saya ingin berkongsi berkaitan
Dr. Fida, sorry interrupting, mungkin 1 minit lagi buat Dr. Fida.
Boleh, sikit je ni. Okey, ini adalah model studio based learning, yang mana saya sangat suka model studio based learning ni disebabkan oleh dia ada satu model yang memang daripada dulu sampai kini dia memang sesuai sepanjang masa. Yang mana student tu diberi tugasan, sepanjang dia nak melaksanakan tugasannya, dia akan ada sesi kritik. Sesi kritik session 1, sesi kritik 2, sesi kritik 3, and then maybe ada 4, 5, maybe 2, maybe 3. Tapi dia ada sesi kritik ni. And then dia ada interim crit. So biasanya interim crit ni, masa interim crit ni lah maka akan berlakunya summative assessment ni. Markah akan diambil pada bahagian interim crit. Pada bahagian session kritik 1, kritik 2, kritik 3 ni biasanya untuk formative assessment sahaja, untuk giving feedback kepada student. Untuk interim crit ni baru dia akan berikan markah kepada pelajar. Ini markah dan juga feedback. Sebab itulah kat sini akan berlaku 2 jenis assessment, iaitu summative dan juga formative. So dia ada portion dia kat situ lah, maybe 30%. Tapi biasanya interim crit ni dia dah almost 70% done student punya kerja. Jadi and then dia ada final presentation. Final presentation ni adalah summative assessment, yang mana dia ada kat sini final presentation. Kemudian dia ada satu lagi himpunan daripada projek 1, projek 2, projek 3. Dia akan kumpulkan, dia akan jadi portfolio review dan akan di-attend oleh penilai-penilai daripada luar, daripada industri, daripada professional body, daripada pensyarah itu sendiri, untuk review hasil kerja pelajar itu untuk melihat sejauh mana prestasi mereka memenuhi learning outcome yang sepatutnya. Okey, dan ia juga boleh dibuat melalui online assessment, which is kita ada banyak platform sekarang ni yang kita boleh laksanakan. Okay, kemudian challenge to educator, ada beberapa challenge to educator. Must have skill in selecting method of assessment that align with the learning outcomes. Kita mesti tahu had sesuatu assessment yang kita ingin gunakan. Contohnya multiple choice question. Untuk apa? Untuk kita nak tahu kefahaman mereka tentang sesuatu konten. Kan? Kalau essay dia akan lebih detail sebab pelajar itu dia kena creating mengikut idea dia sendiri. Kalau performance assessment pun sama, sebab dia kena create. So dia lebih lebih align dengan higher order thinking lah. Okay, yang kedua, skill in examination of administration. Giving score to student and how to interpret assessment result. Okay, yang ni pun merupakan satu isu. Kadang-kadang bila kita buat performance based assessment, kita kecenderungan kita untuk memberi markah yang tinggi kepada pelajar itu lebih tinggi. Jadi sebenarnya dalam pembinaan rubrik rubrik penilaian, sebenarnya rubrik penilaian kita bina tu kita dah ada satu sampel hasil kerja pelajar yang terdahulu. Kita boleh tengok, kita boleh buat benchmarking daripada sampel itu untuk menetapkan kriteria yang sepatutnya. Kemudian yang ketiga, skill in reporting result student. Keempat, skill in grading, giving feedback. Kelima, skill to detect method of assessment information that not ethically. Okay, yang ini yang kita kena ada sekarang. Skill in develop exam question. Using various method of assessment. Kita tak boleh guna satu method sahaja assessment. Kita kena guna pelbagai method supaya kita dapat kumpulkan maklumat-maklumat yang bagus untuk kita buat keputusan mengenai prestasi pelajar. And then awareness of the limitation of the techniques. And then educator need guideline and procedure in conducting online assessment, especially for summative assessment. Okay, assessment impact is using various method of assessment by educator. Kita sekarang ini dah pandai menggunakan pelbagai method assessment dalam online learning. Ekonomi, of course, kita menggunakan lebih banyak duit lah untuk membeli tools dan sebagainya. Ratio student and educator, kita kena tengok balik ratio student and educator. Kalau kita nak buat macam kelas Dr. Nur Hanim tu tadi, kalau 100 orang pensan nak tengok satu-satu. Kemudian content coverage kita kena tengok juga. Kalau terlalu banyak kita tak boleh nak buat secara detail lah. Okay, so kita dapat support from Universiti untuk lifelong learning, yang mana bila kita ada digital content, so kita boleh expand lagi untuk buat micro credential or whatsoever yang sesuai untuk lifelong learning. Yang terakhir adalah develop integrity dalam kalangan pelajar dan juga staff. Jadi saya rasa itu sahaja daripada saya. Sekian, terima kasih.
Baik, terima kasih Dr. Nur Fidawati di atas perkongsian tersebut. Jadi ada beberapa cadangan alternatif assessment yang dicadangkan oleh Dr. Nur Fidawati tadi, dan begitu juga beberapa cabaran dan juga kesannya ke atas kaedah-kaedah yang kita guna pakai dalam menghadapi ataupun melakukan assessment dalam era pandemik COVID-19. Jadi terima kasih kepada kedua-dua speakers kita. Dan kelihatannya telah ada soalan yang diajukan di dalam chat box. Dan kelihatannya juga Ibu Lucy telah menjawab di dalam chat box ini. Jadi bagaimana, adakah Pak Aris mau jawapan langsung daripada Ibu Lucy atau memadai daripada dalam chat box saja? Bagaimana, adakah ianya telah memadai Pak Aris atau perlu penerangan langsung dari Ibu Lucy?
Okay, I think it's okay. Thank you, Bu Lucy, for your explanation. Thank you.
Alright, terima kasih. Jadi telah it's very clear now ya, yang telah ditanyakan oleh Pak Haris sudah dijawab oleh Ibu Lucy dengan jelas. Jadi ada apa-apa soalan daripada rakan-rakan lain kepada Ibu Lucy maupun Dr. Nur Fidawati?
Saya boleh tanya, Bu?
Ya, silakan.
Tanya Ibu Firda.
Ya, siapa yang bertanya? Boleh perkenalkan diri?
Ya, saya
boleh.
Boleh kan tanya?
Ya, Ibu.
Boleh.
Bu Firda tadi menjelaskan yaitu ekonomi menghabiskan uang. Ini dalam masa pandemi banyak sekali aplikasi-aplikasi yang gratis kita bisa pakai itu, bisa download. Jadi memang ya ekonomi ya memang ada hubungannya, tetapi sama Google, Mbah Google ini itu dipaparkan banyak aplikasi yang gratis, kita tinggal ngeklik. Kadang-kadang kita tidak tahu atau belum tahu bahwa Rubric itu macam-macam banyak sekali. Terima kasih Bu Firda.
Okey, Dr. Fida, maksud Bu Lucy tadi banyak aplikasi-aplikasi yang percuma, ya. Gratis itu maksudnya free ya, Bu Lucy?
Ya, free. Kita bisa pakai langsung dari Google Form. Seperti Rubric Star punya saya ini juga free.
Okey, minta respon daripada Dr. Fida. Bagaimana dia impact to the economy.
Okey, yang saya maksudkan tu mungkin dari sudut yang berbeza lah. Mungkin dari sudut aplikasi itu kita boleh dapatkan secara percuma ya melalui apps-apps yang diberikan secara free, secara percuma. Okey, ini dari segi contohnya dari segi pembelian data untuk pelajar kan, kita punya student banyak menggunakan data-data Jadi dari sudut itulah, dari sudut itu, dan kita juga kena beli kita punya komputer baru kan yang ada yang compatible untuk buat online learning dan sebagainya lah. Okey, sedikit sebanyak dia memang mempengaruhi juga dari sudut keuangan. Cuma insya-Allah bisa diatasi. Itu saja Ibu Lucy.
Terima kasih Bu Firda. Cuman kami di sini guru-guru dan mahasiswa di Indonesia itu dapat bantuan dari pemerintah Bu selama masa pandemi. Jadi untuk paket data itu diberi tiap bulan. Jadi kalau seandainya mahasiswa itu kehabisan paket data itu jelas nggak mungkin karena kita diberi gratis, cuma-cuma. Begitu Bu. Tapi untuk beli laptop ya juga memang bayar. Ya. Terima kasih Bu Firda. Saya baca di chat ini pertanyaan untuk Bu Nunu. Apa boleh ini MC?
Pertanyaan apa itu Bu Lucy?
Ya di chat itu untuk Bu Nunu ini. Bagus sekali ini.
Tanya Ibu Nunu, sekarang sesinya untuk Ibu Lucy dengan Dr. Fidawati.
Bukan di chat room itu dari Bu Sima nih.
Yes. Nanti saya bacakan. Ini ada soalan saya bacakan dulu daripada Pak Aris Setiawan kepada Dr. Fidawati. Among the assessments that you have explained, which one you consider to be applicable in your class? Jadi maksudnya apa yang dah diterangkan tadi, agak-agaknya mana yang paling sesuai untuk kelas Dr. Fida lah maksudnya kot. Okey Dr. Fida.
Okey, assessment yang bersesuaian ni depends, dia merujuk kepada tujuan kita buat assessment tu. Dia base kepada tujuan kita buat assessment tu. Contohnya, kalau kita menggunakan contoh performance assessment. Performance assessment, jadi kita menggunakan contoh performance assessment sebab kita nak ukur pelajar tu how dia perform buat tugasan dia. So kita akan gunakan performance assessment. Kalau kita nak ukur dari segi pelajar itu boleh buat report. Contohnya dia boleh menghasilkan report, critical thinking dalam dia menghasilkan report. So kita akan gunakan method untuk pelajar itu menghasilkan report berkenaan. Maksudnya dia depends pada purpose. What kind of purpose kita nak ukur daripada pelajar tu. So saya tak boleh nak bagi saya tak boleh nak bagi satu types of assessment yang sesuai bagi nak digunakan, sebab dia bergantung kepada purpose yang kita ingin. Okay, saya harap dapat menjawab dia punya soalan.
Okey, terima kasih Dr. Fida. Jadi adakah menjawab soalan Pak Haris? Adakah sudah menjawab Pak Haris? Okey, yes, dia dah thumbs up. Okey, soalan seterusnya saya fikirkan ini adalah soalan yang terakhir sebab kita pun telah melangkaui jam 1. Yang ini daripada Dr. Shima daripada UTHM. Macam mana kita nak mengelakkan bias dalam penilaian pelajar dalam alternative assessment yang melibatkan hot questions seperti subjek filosofi, dan apakah bentuk pembangunan rubrik terbaik yang boleh digunakan? Okey.
Untuk mengelakkan bias, dia ada beberapa cara Dr. Shima. Dia ada beberapa cara untuk mengelakkan bias. Yang pertama, dalam mana-mana peperiksaan sekalipun, even dalam melibatkan hot question, kita ada skema jawapan. Skema jawapan, okey, dalam kes ini kita menggunakan rubrik. So rubrik yang kita develop itu perlulah rubrik yang analitik. Rubrik analitik yang melihat satu persatu secara detail. Okey. Kemudian satu lagi untuk mengelakkan bias, dalam satu-satu penilaian itu dia kena ada beberapa penilai lain. Jadi kita kena ada second reader or maybe third reader untuk check semula kita punya penilaian kepada pelajar. Itu yang kedua. Yang ketiga, okey, kalau kita menanda soalan-soalan esei, kan, kita akan menanda ikut turutan nombor. Contohnya nombor soalan 1 kita akan tanda mengikut question tu. Kita akan habiskan satu dulu, baru kita akan masuk kepada soalan yang kedua. So dia akan ada pelbagai caralah untuk kita mengelakkan bias dalam pemberian markah. Jadi kalau inginkan penerangan lagi, kita boleh discuss lah. Saya rasa itu sahaja penerangan daripada saya. Terima kasih.
Baiklah, terima kasih Dr. Fidawati. Jadi saya rasa saya perlu berhenti kerana kita telah dah melangkaui jam 1, walaupun kita dijadualkan akan berhenti jam 1:30. Atau kita nak terima satu lagi soalan yang terakhir? Adakah? Ada apa soalan yang terakhir mungkin? Saya buka peluang. Ada lagi yang nak bertanya dari rakan-rakan? Kalau boleh tanya direct kepada speakers kita. Ada yang nak tanya mungkin yang terakhir? Tak ada? Okey, saya kiraan 1, 2, 3. Okey, kalau macam tu saya anggap tak ada soalan lagi. Alhamdulillah, terima kasih. We almost end of the session and we have a wonderful and knowledgeable speakers. Semuanya feminine, wanita-wanita hebat dalam ni hari ni. Okay, and also the great sharing and massive information from all the speakers. Thank you to all speakers, Dr. Endang, Dr. Marina, Dr. Nunu, Dr. Nurhanim Saada, Dr. Lucy. Bias, ada bias dekat sini because woman domination. Dominated. Next time kita jemput akan ada multi sex dalam kita punya forum session. Okay, dan yang terakhir tadi Dr. Lucy dan juga Dr. Nur Fidawati. Thank you very much for all the inspiring session. I sincerely wish that everyone benefits from this session and also believe the audience and myself agree that this has been a very informative sharing session. Well, we are witnessing how appending the COVID-19 has been to literally everyone else in adjusting to it, and we are coming to terms with new norm where many aspects are changed, including the assessment system. Nevertheless, it is necessary in motivating, inspiring and empowering students to learn, as learning is a social construct and definitely assessment is needed to evaluate the final output of the students. So thank you again. Thank you very much for your participation in this session. I hope you enjoy and benefit as much from the session and become excited to renew your commitment to teaching and learning in particular and education in general. So terima kasih banyak-banyak. I'm happy to have you around today, and we'll see again next time in the next event. Thank you very much to all the speakers and all the participants. Have a good day ahead. Selamat maju jaya semua. Terima kasih.
Terima
Thank you all
kasih.
panel. Next time kita cari apa male panel ya.
Sure. Kita akan cari male panel lepas ni. Kita akan mix gender. Okay.
Maaf Bu Firda.
Ya.
Sebetulnya tadi sertifikat untuk keynote langsung diberikan, ditunjukkan Bu Firda. Kapan bisa dikirim?
Oke, di-share. Sekejap Ibu ya.
Terutama untuk Bu Endang sama Bu Nuno.
Sekejap. Saya buka saya punya